Hello, and welcome to Sanlando Soundwaves. I'm Leslie McKean, and this is week 23, day 113. And today we are reading Book 1 of Samuel, chapter 16, verses 1 through 13. Samuel anoints David. The Lord said to Samuel, "How long will you mourn for Saul, since I have rejected him as king over Israel? Fill your horn with oil and be on your way. I'm sending you to Jesse of Bethlehem. I have chosen one of his sons to be king." But Samuel said, "How can I go? If Saul hears about it, he'll kill me." And the Lord said, "Take a heifer with you and say, 'I have come to sacrifice to the Lord.' Invite Jesse to the sacrifice, and I will show you what to do. You are to anoint for me the one I indicate." Samuel did what the Lord said. When he arrived at Bethlehem, the elders of the town trembled when they met him. They asked, "Do you come in peace?" Samuel said, "Yes. In peace I have come to sacrifice to the Lord. Consecrate yourselves and come to the sacrifice with me." Then he consecrated Jesse and his sons and invited them to the sacrifice. When they arrived, Samuel saw Eliab and thought, "Surely the Lord's anointed stands here before the Lord." But the Lord said to Samuel, "Do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him. The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." Then Jesse called Abinadab and had him pass in front of Samuel. But Samuel said, "The Lord has not chosen this one either." Jesse then had Shammah pass by, but Samuel said, "Nor has the Lord chosen this one." Jesse had 7 of his sons pass before Samuel, but Samuel said to him, "The Lord has not chosen these." So he asked Jesse, "Are these all the sons you have?" "There is still the youngest," Jesse answered. "He's tending the sheep." Samuel said, "Send for him. We will not sit down until he arrives." So he sent for him and had him brought in. He was glowing with health and had a fine appearance and handsome features. Then the Lord said, "Rise and anoint him. This is the one." So Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the presence of his brothers. And from that day on, the Spirit of the Lord came down powerfully upon David. Samuel then went to Ramah. And now let's read and reflect on our 7 arrows. What does this passage say? What did this passage mean to its original audience? What does it tell us about God? What does this passage tell us about man? What does this passage demand of me? How does this passage change the way I relate to people? What does this passage prompt me to pray to God? Now let's read a brief devotional about this passage from our book, 7 Arrows. We don't have to wait long to find out who God chose as the next king. Once again, Samuel declared God's intention to the people. David, the next king, was an unlikely choice. There were other men among the nation far more qualified and who had the appearance one would expect of a king. But God doesn't make decisions the way you and I often do. He doesn't choose based on outward appearance of power, stature, or strength. Rather, he looks at the heart. God demonstrated that, and he sees, knowing by all things, choosing David, a man who he would later describe as having a heart that pleased God. We should be reminded through the story of David that God often uses the unlikely to accomplish his good purpose, and that it is far more important for our hearts to be right with him than for us to possess unique wisdom or strength. We appear to please God on the outside, But if our hearts don't love and worship him, then he isn't truly pleased. Thanks for joining us. We hope to see you again tomorrow.